I'm going to show you how to use a cross-compiler to build a Raylib app for AmigaOS4. I did try to build it natively directly on the Amiga, but actually I'll talk about that later. Let's get this Raylib app running on AmigaOS4 first. And the Raylib app in question is I swiped this very simple Hello Raylib example from my book, the CMake tutorial. It opens up a window and prints this message, "Hello world, it's great to be here," in big bold red right in the middle. So as I said, very basic. There's very little that can go wrong, which makes it the best first project for Raylib on AmigaOS4 for us. And to build this code, we're going to need an Amiga cross-compiler. The easiest way to get that is to use a Docker container, that's a ready-made Docker container that has the Amiga cross-compiler already built in. And I showed that in a previous video. I'll leave a link to that video below this one so that you can set up your own cross-compiler. To speed things up, I took the template from that previous video and I stripped out the source code, because all I really want is this Docker compose file, which sets up the Docker container, and this devcontainer.json file, which sets up VS Code to run that container. So we can use it from within our VS Code terminal here. After that, I took this Hello Raylib example code and its CMake list script, and I replaced the original code and put that in, and then the problems start. So normally this CMake list would have a few fetch content lines here that would, if Raylib is not, the Raylib's SDK files are not installed on this computer, it will literally pull Raylib source code from the internet and build it on the spot. So everything compiles out of the box. I can't do that. The AmigaOS4 port of Raylib has rough edges on it, and there are dependencies that we need to manually install, which I don't like, but that's the way it is. To make things easier, I'm grateful for Andrea Palmate. I hope I've pronounced his name correctly. He's built a bunch of Linux packages, so installing these dependencies, including Raylib4, the C runtime for the Amiga that's not part of the SDK, he's made Linux packages that allow us to just do an apt install and we've got them. This is how that's done. So first you need to go to the dev container and change this amidev to root. To install anything on Linux, you need to have root access. Amidev does not have root access. You can't use sudo from it. So use that, restart the container. And once we're back in, then we can run these commands. Okay, it's taking, suddenly when I'm recording, it's taking a long time. Normally this happens almost instantly. Here we go, looks like we're back into the terminal. So these three commands will add the repository containing our packages to apt. So let me run those now. And this will take quite a while because apt will go through and fetch all of the repository files, listing all the packages. I might pause this video and restart it when this is done. This will take a while. All right, that's done. So now we can install the packages that we need. This is the list. I put this in this install deps.sh for future use, so I can just automatically install it. Let me run that, and this will now install Raylib4, Raylib version 5, the GL4ES, and OpenGLES files. Click yes. There you go, it's installing now. Done. For security purposes, you might want to go back to the dev container.json over here and switch back to amidev so you're not running as root. However, if you do that, do not, I repeat, do not click this rebuild button, because that will wipe the container and rebuild it from scratch from the original image, which does not have the files that you just installed. So then you'll have to do everything again. I can't be bothered restarting the container. At this point, you would restart the container. You can shut down, if you don't know how to do that, you can shut down VS Code and restart that. I'm going to live a bit dangerously and run everything as root. It'll be okay, just for this video. Okay, so now we have the dependencies installed. One last thing. Actually, no, two last things. First, this is the CMake scripts. So you can see I've added these replace fetch content with find package, because we do not have a way to automatically build and link in Raylib. So we make sure that Raylib, GLFW3, OpenGL, and multi-threading are available, and then make sure that we add those link libraries to the Hello Raylib target here. And that's it. For some reason, when I do this, normally you do OpenGL, :GL like this. For some reason, when I do that, it will try to link to the shared object statically, whereas if I do this, then it will suddenly find the actual static GL library. I don't know why, that's the way it works. Anyway, the next thing that we need to do is we need to have a toolchain file which will tell CMake to use the cross compiler instead of the local compiler for the target machine. Not target machine, for the Linux Docker container that we're on. And this took a bit of time. Again, Andrea Palmate's example toolchain file came in handy. What this does is this sets up the system name, system version, PowerPC, and then the most important parts are here. We set the C and C++ compilers to the PPC-AmigaOS variant. So that's the cross compiler. We add flags for compilation and linking to use CLib4, because all of our dependencies have been linked against CLib4, so we need to use CLib4, not newlib or CLib2. And then we need to tell CMake where to find our packages. So we've installed them, so we need to tell the install prefix, the CLib files are here. If you're trying to do this on Ubuntu or Linux itself, not on this Docker container, the SDK files for your cross compiler, they might have been installed somewhere else. You'll need to figure that out on your own. But anyway, for this one, this is where we have to put it. And we also, for some reason, need to add the common include directories or it won't be able to find it. And we need to tell it where to find the OpenGL include files, which we know are in here. And once we have that, we can finally build this. So you'll see files are here. Now we run cmake-b build. So it's going to create a build directory. And we need to tell it to use our toolchain file, which is AmigaOS4-cross.cmake, and build configuration for the current directory. Now it's configuring the project. Takes a bit of time. Everything takes a bit of time. Right, now we can build it. So cmake-build. We want to build in the build directory. And let's do a parallel build just for the heck of it. Bang, done. We have our Hello Raylib. Now to copy it across to the Amiga for testing, I'll use C2FTP for that. That's one of the reasons why I wrote C2FTP. So copying across. Done. Let's switch across to the Amiga and run it. There you go. Hello world, it's great to be here running on the Amiga. And while that's great, I'm not completely happy for 3 reasons. First, the build script is now AmigaOS specific. It won't build for Windows or Mac or any of the other ones. And the only way that I can currently afford to write software for the Amiga at present, aside from the drivers that I do for Aeon, is to write cross-platform. So I expand the user base. I can sell it on other systems as well. Second problem, I hate manual dependency installation. I hate having to track down dependencies just to build somebody's code. So this one, I don't know, it's not too bad with the Linux packages, apt install, but still don't like it. And 3, this is probably the biggest one, as an Amiga computer fan, it's very unsatisfying that I can't build it natively on AmigaOS itself. I did try, and it almost worked. The tools were almost there. However, there was one bug in our CMake port that I just couldn't overcome. There's some kind of memory leak, and it kept on running out of memory. There's good news, though. I submitted bug reports for all the problems I found while I was doing this, and the Amiga Labs team are on the case. They are working at fixing this, so hopefully within the next few months, I will be able to build this natively. For my part, I'm going to work on a Raylib project template that will compile out of the box on all platforms, including AmigaOS. If you want to see that and you want to support my work, then join the Kia Campus's Amiga Corner. You'll get source code not only for this video, but all previous videos too, and there's a lot more. For example, the Saving AmigaOS series. Plus, you'll be helping me with creating software and videos for the Amiga computer. So sign up link is below the video. That's it for now. I'll see you next time.